Well, of course, we're very interested in adipose because of obesity in wealthy countries. People gain weight very rapidly, and in fact, in the United States, a full 30% of the adult population is clinically obese. Very, very, very overweight. And you wouldn't realize how overweight we are as a country until you travel to another country and nobody's overweight. I just got back from China, and I did not see a single overweight person, and I must have seen millions of human beings. I saw a lot of women my age who were a little round, like we all get when we're a little older, a lot of men my age who had a little bit of a tummy, but I did not see any substantially obese people. They don't eat the way we do, and they are much more active than we are. But as they become more prosperous and adopt Western eating habits, they will have the weight problem that other countries have. So this is a really difficult problem because it turns out that fat cells have a serious, long-term, complex conversation between the gut and the brain. And we don't understand it well yet, but it isn't easy to control fat cells loading up fat and getting them to discharge it because the brain is involved. The brain sends out chemical substances like neurotransmitters that literally not only tell you to be hungry, tell the fat cells to grow. So this is not an easy project to try to figure out how people can lose weight because it's neurotransmitters, it's substances in the brain that are literally ordering fat cells to fill up. Now with that in mind, there's an old song that you're born with all the fat cells you're ever going to have and you're never going to make any more. That is not true. So at birth, when you're born, you have for a period of time, you have your base number of fat cells. And in normal development during childhood, the fat cells are primarily enlarging. So after birth, mostly for you. Oh, I got it. All right, never mind. All right. Mostly hypertrophy, they get bigger or smaller. Hypertrophy to get bigger, atrophy to get smaller. These are good clinical terms for you to know. Atrophy. I'm sorry, let me write this down. So as you want to store calories, the cells get bigger, they undergo hypertrophy. When you're losing weight, the fat cells are mobilized, the fat's released, and the cells atrophy. They go down to a smaller size. But it is not as common hyperplasia is not as common. This means make more fat cells. That is not usual. It's possible hyperplasia is possible because, BC means because, we have fat stem cells. These are embryonic fat cells that exist in fat. They're just sitting there and they're not doing anything. How do you trigger hyperplasia. That means make new fat cells. So it used to be taught that we can't, that when we are, after we're born, we're not gonna make new fat cells, we're just gonna grow, we're gonna swell and shrink the ones we have. Obviously, that's not true, because people can put on an enormous amount of weight. And it isn't all because their fat cells each get to be the size of a grapefruit. They are making new fat cells. So there are some triggers that can happen that can let people activate their stem cells so that they make new fat cells. So the triggers. If you gain too much weight too quickly, your fat cells will enlarge so much they hit a trigger volume. And they command hyperplasia. So gaining a lot of weight, especially when you do it really, really quickly, you can trip over into hyperplasia. You can just start making new fat cells. It's pretty obvious. You would expect that, right? But there are hormones that can do this too. So fat cell stress would be overeating. Hormones, damn those hormones, can do the same kind of thing. Of course, there are times in an animal's life where it might be really important to hoard fat as much as possible, like when you're about to try to grow and nourish and support a young one. So of course these hormones tend to be female hormones. Boo. Damn. Things like estrogen and progesterone. Now realize that men make female hormones too, but they don't make as many. So this problem with triggering hyperplasia happens a lot more with women. It's part of the reproductive protection that Mother Nature provides females, because females will not ovulate and cannot get pregnant and cannot support a fetus and cannot breastfeed it unless they have fat stores. So nature will trigger the deposition of fat in girls around puberty. So female sex hormones, so around puberty, you will see a lot of kids putting on fat. Now, boys and girls, because you're about to grow, right? But girls, because of these sex hormones, can put on a lot of fat. And then, of course, pregnancy. So, we don't understand this conversation that fat cells have very well with the brain, but we do know that emotional state and how much you eat can activate the state of hyperplasia. But we do have one piece of bad news for everyone that you probably already know. And these are the kinds of things that, you know, your average GP isn't going to tell you about weight loss. They may not even know it. People don't know it. If you accidentally trigger a hyperplastic state by gaining a great deal of weight and you've lost it, you've gone on a diet, or you had a difficult puberty or pregnancies and you've gone on, you know, you've gotten heavy and then you've lost a lot of weight, or man or woman, whatever, you're still in a hyperplastic state. You're still prone to making new fat cells very, very easily. So it's much easier for you to gain weight than someone who hasn't fallen into a hyperplastic state. We just don't know how to shut down that yet. So on top of this is another piece, and it's not just how much you eat and exercise and whether you are female, it's your genetics. You know, a lot of us come